Hey guys, today we're talking supplements and why the recurring advantage and how you position your brand for a premium multiple. And that's why supplement brands sell for more. Now, if you look at this, you'll probably notice like some of these revenues here, it's just the supplement market is one of the most competitive. If you look at the listing, you look at these main images, how much they push the envelope, how much split testing they do. But these are huge numbers. Like some of these, 1.2 million have been bought multiple times, 180,000, 250,000. What's that? 80,000, and that's just over the last month. So these are huge numbers. So what I want to do to talk today about is supplements and why you get a higher valuation when selling a supplement business. So why supplements equals premium exit? Buyers love consumables because there's high lifetime value, LTV's high lifetime value, repeat purchase rate, and subscriptions equal predictable cash flow. Selling a business with predictable cash flow is one of the moats you put around it. Also, high lifetime value. So, unlike some products, you can spend $20 to acquire a customer for a $60 product. These ones you may spend $60 to acquire a product that sells for $40. But if you've got a really high subscription rate, that customer may be worth, if they stay for a year, $480. So it's really buyers love these types of businesses because they're predictable cash flow. So I want to show you here how competitive supplements are and how big some of the revenue is. Really big sales. Also seen some very black hat strategies in this market because there's so much demand for it. A lot of people try get the supplement market, but it takes a special type of listing to get there. So we talked about this as well. The premium is health trends now pushing more down the supplement space, and brands seen as a lifestyle ecosystem, not just products now. So it's just not these sell-alone products. It's a lot of founder stories, a lot of the UGC is around a lifestyle that these brands have. So the big values for buyers, these ones are obvious. The high gross margins, subscribe and save, really sticky subscribe and save. So people buy it and they don't drop off after month two. They stay with it. That's a really big factor. Expansion opportunities. So if you're already on Amazon, but you've got direct to consumer, retail, other marketplaces, and the strong branding. Supplements really want a strong branding because it builds up moat around you where if customers will only buy from you, it makes a huge difference because there's always new competition in the supplement space. So for the recurring revenue and the multiple expansion, look, not every supplement's the same. Basically, if you look on Amazon for your exit, a standard Amazon business used to be 3 to 4 your earnings, whereas a supplement product with say a 30% recurring subscription rate is 4.5 to 6.5. So that's like 50% more value you're gonna get for your business. These numbers here, the 3.5, 3 to 4, I think these days are now 2025 aren't going to be there for Amazon. I think you're more looking towards the 2.5 to low 3 here. But the subscription model, what I'm showing here is you'd probably get a 50% up to double exit value because of the subscription model. And why? It's basically because of recurring revenue. It means it really reduces the risk because you know that you've got an X amount of runway ahead, and it reduces that risk of cash flow with one-off purchases. So what do buyers want to see when they're looking at a supplement business? What are some of the key indicators? So the big one is the churn rate on subscribe and save. How many people stay on there? So what's the repeat customer rate? So look at brand analytics, but also what your customer acquisition cost is, your CAC versus your lifetime value, and then your attribution between organic and paid. How much you're relying on organic traffic versus paid traffic. I know a lot of supplement sellers will lose money on their first order, knowing that they can get the second, third, and fourth. But this one here, the churn rate, is one of the key factors. You've got a really low churn rate. That's much more inducive to buyers because they know if they put more spend into it, they're going to get a great return on it because the lifetime value is much higher. So some of the benchmarks for drop-off rates. Look, these are some of the benchmarks you want to get to. So month one, you want 70-80% to stay. By month three, at least half of them. By month six, at least a third staying. And this is what we talked about at the start. You want 30% of your subscribe and stay to be 6 months or more. So how do you get some of those best alignment? So align the dosage with real-time use. I've seen experiences with powders because powders can vary from scoop to scoop. It means often people don't run out at the month end, whereas capsules, because you've taken them every day, you definitely run out. So sometimes that's why people go down the capsule or gummy route. Powders, there's more discretion. The bundle and loyalty perks and content to reduce turn. Content is really about the branding. How do you get that so you're not just a Me Too product? So the ad backs, these are ad backs that you can actually put back into the EBIT to to increase your profit margins. So founder salary, some accept that, some don't. R&D formulations, you most likely add these out. Creative asset production, they're normally for one-time stuff. If it's ongoing, you have to do creatives all the time. No, some will write off if you had like big once-off creatives that may be used for over a 1 year period, and influencer campaigns. These ones are all negotiable. That's the thing. These ones here are all negotiable depending on how much the buyer is interested in your business. Look, one of the most important things is clean financials. And have clean financials from the start often will put buyers off. I had this experience before we exited. We had someone interested in it, and we had some pretty crappy financials before we got serious. And because I wasn't expecting, someone said, hey, just send over your financials. They weren't great. And he just didn't have enough confidence in it. And that was before we actually got serious about it. And then we got our books done professionally. So you got to use accrual accounting. That really shows your margin. This is a must. This is, if you're going to sell a business, you have to be an accrual, not cash. The alignment of the ad spend, the sales, breaking out the subscribe and save revenue, work out where your break even is, your cost of acquisition, and your cost of acquisition cost and your lifetime value. They're really big ones. And the SKU level margins. Basically, you don't want to be having all your eggs in one basket. You want to have multiple SKUs. Generally, not more than one SKU taking more than 25% or 30% of your whole revenue. And then strong margins. They want to know the margins at a SKU level. The reason they say that is if you've got one or two products that are underperforming, but there's really strong margins, it means you can push more marketing spend in them. A big one here about inventory and supply chains. Basically, these are just some of the basic things you're going to be doing supplements about, batch tracking, shelf life. But this big one here, you see people with tariffs and that at the moment trying to do different ways to get around it. Look, basically, you need to be 100% upfront if you're importing with your tariffs and duties, because they're going to go through it, look at your codes, look how much you've paid in tariffs. And if it doesn't match up, they won't buy it. I know that from experience. They went through, checked all our tariffs, making sure we're paying the right amount, and they accepted it. So those people try to do the dodgy on tariffs. You'll never be able to exit your business. At the moment, big push for made in the USA products, especially around supplements. Most supplements are made in the USA, but that's just to be aware of it. They'll also look up freight and storage, stuff like that. If you're using 3PLs beforehand, stuff like that, make sure it's all really transparent. But buyers don't be caught with surprises, because once they see one surprise, then they think, okay, what other ones are they hiding from us? Look, really, if you're strategic buyers, you definitely get a better sale. So if the company, if you get a lifestyle product, another company, a large one, sees you as a strategic purchase, those models we talked before, they can even go higher. So it's really worthwhile between a difference between a buyer who just wants to buy your business and a strategic buyer. Strategic buyer, you'll get a much better multiple for it. So often they want to look at the retention, how much of the brand equity you have, and also the direct-to-consumer upside. If yours is primarily Amazon business, this is a big plus, because they know how much they can push outside of Amazon. Some of the big brands who are D2C, they'll get like a 20-25% overflow just on Amazon because of the direct consumer. If you're not any direct consumer at the moment, this is a massive incentive for a big brand, because they know they can turn on the Shopify, their Facebook ads, and probably grow the portfolio 30 to 50% just outside of Amazon. Plus, I'll get the overflow of people come back to Amazon. So this is a really important one to get in the multiple value up. Some of the things that can help a strategic buy, if you got really strong email list, UGC assets, but this repeat purchase rate is one of the biggest one. But also Intel brands, they've got a really strong, like you look at Athletic Green, they've got a really strong connection with their brand, and that makes a big difference in terms of your positioning. Just going through some examples. So if you're a supplement company doing $500K a month, 40% from Scribe and Save, and your EBIT's 25%, so you're making about $1.5 million a year profit. And generally when you're selling these businesses, if you're not doing over $500,000 a year, most buyers won't be looking at you. So if you're looking at doing $1.5 million a year, without recurring revenue, you'd have probably made about $5.25 million for the exit at 3.5. With recurring revenue, so you're a supplement, look at the differences. It's like 50% to almost double the amount. You're getting to between 7.5 and 9. So that's why there's such a push. Things about supplements, super competitive, but big margins and exit opportunity. Just going through a checklist. Looking at supplements, accrual-based accounting, subscribe and save retention data, add backs clearly noted, your SKU margin visibility, clarity on what your inventory is, lead times, purchase orders coming up, and you got to. So if this is of interest to you guys, or you have a business you like to sell, whether it's supplement or not, a couple of things I'd recommend. First, definitely get your books in order. We've used CapForge.com. I know Matt personally, great guy. They specialize in ecom. They helped us a lot. And you can jump on a call with Matt and his team, and they'll actually go through your situation, their insights. No salesperson, nothing like that. He'll just give you value. If there's opportunity to work together, then great. And if not, he's just a great guy and has a great team to help you guys out. The other one is reach out to me. Just drop me a message below if you're going through an exit or planning one. Happy to share my experience. The other one is you probably want to run a financial audit pre-exit just to find out where you are, what you can improve upon as well, and also look for that strategic purchase as well, or speak to some FBA brokers. But as I said, the starting point for all of this is making sure your books are in order, accrual counting, and get an expert firm to take a look at it and help you guys out. So guys, any feedback, questions, love to hear from you, and I wish you the best with your exit.